Hi guys, Mrs. Falkenstein here. I'm going to show you how to round to the nearest tenth. You need two spots to round in the nearest tenth. This is your one spot, so 7. Here's your decimal place. This right here is your tenth spot, and this right here is your hundredths place. Okay, so you only need two spots out to round to the nearest tenth. So when you have your answer, you should only have one place behind your decimal, one number, because we're rounding to the nearest tenth. So here in our 10th spot, we have a 2. We're going to look to the 100th spot, which is a 9. And if this number in this spot is 5 or more, it tells us to round up the 10th spot 1. So this would be 7.3. And we don't need anything else because we're only going to the 10th spot. This one, we have 3.25. I have a 2 in the 10th spot. So I look to the right, and this number that's 5 or more tells me that this now becomes a 3. So it would be 3.3. 4.58, I have a 5 in the 10th spot. I look to the right, and that 8 tells me I got to round up the 5 one more. So 4.6. 5.34, I have a 3 in the 10th spot. I look to the right, that's 4. So that is not 5 or more, it's below 5. So the 3 will stay the same. 2.44, 4 is in my 10th spot. I look to the right. That number tells me that I keep the 4 the same because it's below 5. So 2.4. Notice how these answers only have one number behind the decimal. That is the 10th spot. If you have a number like this, where you have all 9s behind the decimal, 9 is in your 10th spot. You look to the right. This would tell us to round the 9 up to 10, but 10 is 2 digits, so we would carry this 1 over here, make the 10th spot a 0, and then we would have 8.0. It's kind of like if you had $7.99, it would be closer to $8. Okay. All right. This also works no matter how many places you have behind the decimal. And when you're square rooting numbers, you're going to have a decimal that fills up your screen. So if I do the square root of 5, and I get this big long decimal. Sorry if you can't see that very well. It says 2.236, and it fills up the screen. We only need the number to the nearest tenth. So you look, here's your decimal. The 2 is in the 10th spot. So you just look to the right at that 3, and it tells you to keep it the same at 2.2. Okay. If you did the square root of 17, and you got this big long decimal, you look where your 10 spot is. It's a 1. Okay, so the 10 spot's right after that decimal there. I look to the right of the 1, and that's a 2 in my 100th spot. So that tells me I keep the 1 the same. So my answer would be 4.1. Okay, so it doesn't matter how long your decimal is. If you're rounding to the nearest tenth, you only need these first 2 numbers after your decimal to tell you what to do. The first spot is your tenths, the second spot is your hundredths, and this number here tells you what to do. If it's 5 or more, you round it up 1. If it's 4 or below, you keep it the same. Hope that helps you out. See you later.